Hello. Please read the disclaimer. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, moneymakers. What is happening with the crypto market? Why are we seeing this sell off after good news? It's maybe the most confusing market that I have seen in a while. But on the flip side, I kind of understand why this is happening. So I'll explain my theory, what I think is happening, what's going on. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. Smash that like button. Let's try to get 2,000 likes on this video. I know you guys can do it. I'm going to give you a second to do it. Okay. Let's get into it. Currently, XRP is sitting at $2.42, down minus 4.9% on the day. You can see if we're looking at the 4-hour chart here, after we had the signal to the upside from the indicator, right? We're now seeing a signal to the downside. And it's not, of course, just XRP. Bitcoin has come down all the way to 107,000. Basically, the support zone at 106, Ethereum 3,700. So you can see it's hitting again these 1, 2, 3, fourth time that we've seen this area. And altcoins, smaller altcoins, meme coins are just getting, big minuses, minus 10, minus 14, minus 15, minus 13, minus 11. You can see big vert is minus 20. So big sell-offs for many altcoins, smaller cap altcoins. And you can see the sea of red that is happening, big liquidations. All of this is going on right now over the last 4 hours. 77 on Bitcoin, 42 million on Ethereum, 27 on others, Solana 22. You can see XRP, interesting, only 3.36 million on the long. So it seems that XRP was not very leveraged to the upside. Silver lining, I don't know. But we'll see. Now, if you're interested in the indicator here, you can get the indicator by signing up through my link, through the email list. And you just go through one of our partners. Once you sign up to one of our partners, if you're sign up ready to one, you can go with the other or the other. And it's always good to have multiple accounts. And then you can use the UID and get the indicator if you are interested. But please trade responsibly. Of course, if you do use my link, they are affiliate links, so I will get a commission. So thank you for that. Link is in the description down below. So we'll see what happens with the market here. What I think, what my theory is, right? And, of course, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. I do not know what the market is going to do day to day. I say this many times. I warn you, right? We actually got good news today with the meeting that happened and all the headlines. If you missed that video in the morning, I'll link to that. We went over everything that came out of the meetings between the presidents, right, of the big countries. And we'll see, how that plays out in the long term. But that was good news. What I think is happening is that we've seen this happen in the past, where the day after the Fed makes its decision, we see the markets react or start reacting in a certain way because of something that he said. And sometimes it might not happen exactly right on the day itself, but it will happen a little bit delayed, right? So what we're currently seeing is that the market is reacting to the fact that the Fed chairman yesterday said that they don't know what's going to happen in December, the next meeting. Will we see a reduction or not, right? Last week, there was a 84.7% that we'd see the reduction to 350, 375. And now that has fallen to 68%. So the market doesn't really know what's going to happen. Will we see an interest rate cut or not in December, right? And that's 5.5 weeks, 6 weeks almost away. So a month and a half, it's a long time, right? And so the uncertainty, when the markets don't know what is going to happen on a certain assets or asset class, then we have a sell-off. So you might be saying to yourself, well, Avi, the stock market really isn't having a big sell-off, and you'd be right. Even though the VIX, which is the fear index, is actually negative today. Although if you look at most of the assets that I track here, they're mostly in the red. So this is a weird situation. This means that people are still very, very positive on the market, and yet there is sell-offs today. So it's a very confusing situation. Okay, so the stock market is confused as well. The problem with the crypto market is because of all the leverage that we see, and high leverage. People use high leverage, which is super risky, and they get liquidated fast on short movements, right? And so it will be very interesting to see where the market goes from here. Again, I don't know, but it will be very interesting. And again, it might just be also an end of October sell-off where October wasn't what many people expected. And maybe they purchased assets in the beginning of the month and now they're releasing. Again, crypto is considered a little bit more risky as well. So it could be that people are, concerned and they're selling their riskier assets. That's a possibility as well. We have to take that into consideration. But again, looking out long term, seeing everything that the president is doing and his family, I'm super, on the crypto market. And so we'll see. We'll see what will happen short term. Maybe, this is the worst October ever, and November is going to give it saving grace. Maybe. We'll see. Okay. Interesting from Uphold. Uphold continued to be very, very positive towards XRP. And you can see XRP holders, this one's for you. Starting in select areas, Uphold is launching asset-backed loans. You'll be able to borrow against your XRP using Uphold. So this is another utility for XRP. We saw that Gemini had the XRP credit cards, and there's more and more places. And you can see also Ripple that has been popping up in many places. And we have an update from Ripple. Head of Ripple Swell, we're showcasing how blockchain payments drive real-world impact with all these companies. Together, we can slash settlement times from days to seconds, ensuring faster aid and greater impact where it's most needed. We're getting closer and closer to that event, Ripple Swell, happening in New York City. And so that will be very interesting. I won't be there this time around. Maybe next year, although November in New York, it's cold, no? Maybe next time around we'll go. I've been on too many vacations recently. Too many vacations, but I do want to go see family. I have family in New York, so maybe we'll see. Maybe next year we'll do a little bit of a jump there to the NYC. It's going to be very interesting to see how, again, this day plays out. Do we see the markets continue the sell-off, or is this the bottom, right? because you can see here, Bitcoin is getting close to a support zone, and Ethereum is getting close to a resistance area, support zone as well, a place that it has touched 3 or 4 times. So that will be interesting. Dominance of Bitcoin continues to go up, but nothing too bananas there. And what is still interesting is, I always have this concern because we still have this open gap at 92,000. That's always a concern for me, that the market might pull back to that before it goes on a movement to the upside. That's what my theory was. And remember, we had that gap at 70,000 and we were always like, oh, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And eventually it happened. How long did it actually take that time around? Let's see. Till it closed, it was about 112 days. I think this time frame has been a little bit longer, right? We're already at 180 days this time around and it hasn't happened yet. So can we, think, okay, maybe this time around that gap is not going to close? That is the question. Even with that, the Friday Bitcoin held. It didn't drop down. If it would have dropped down like the other assets, theoretically that could have happened to the 92,000 area, but that didn't happen. And it also happened, I think, after futures closed. So that maybe that was a saving grace for Bitcoin there. So very, very interesting day. Not, the day that many people want, but, some people look at red days as silver linings, and a positive way. So it all depends on how you're looking at the market, what you're doing and what your game plan is for every single scenario. Again, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Also, remember that I will never contact you on social media asking you to sign up to anything or to send me any money. Those are scammers. Please be very careful out there, and check out the email list. And if you're interested, again, in signing up with our partners, you can do that and get the 1348 EMA indicator as well. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time, and I'll see you later.